Ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrival of our honorable guest, Yang Berbahagia Professor Dato Dr. Mohammad Shatar bin Sabran, Chief Executive Officer of Malaysian Qualifications Agency, MQA. Yang Berbahagia Profesor Dato Dr. Mohammad Shatar bin Sabran, Chief Executive Officer of Malaysian Qualifications Agency MQA, Professor Dato Dr. Ansari Ahmad, Founder President of Asia University AEU, Emeritus Professor Tan Sri Dato Dr. Nik Mohammad Raja Abdullah, Vice Chancellor of Asia University, Dato Dr. Roziah Omar, President and CEO of University Kuala Lumpur UniKL, Professor Dr. Johari Ali, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Asia University, Mr. Muhammad Khairul Nizam bin Ibrahim, Senior Director Accreditation of Malaysian Qualifications Agency MQA. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon. Warm greetings to each and every one of you. It is with great pleasure that we welcome all of you to Asia University for the APEL Q and APEL Center launch. On behalf of the organizing committee, we extend our appreciation for your presence today. For everyone's information, AEU has obtained the accreditation certificate from MQA to be one of the APEL Center for award of academic qualifications APEL Q beginning March 2022. This is in line with MQA's initiative to widen the mobility of student participation, particularly in higher education through APEL. Today, we are celebrating all the hard work and achievements with the launch of APEL Q and AEU APEL Center. To begin, I would like to invite T.S. Mazri Mohammad to lead the Doa recitation. Please welcome Mazri.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Sesungguhnya kami berhimpun pada hari ini bagi menyatakan kesyukuran di atas kurniaan-Mu yang tidak ternilai. Jadikanlah kami hamba-hamba-Mu yang sentiasa bersyukur, sama ada yang sedikit lebih lagi nikmat yang melimpah ruah kepada kami. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Engkau berkatilah dan rahmatilah perjalanan majlis pelancaran APEL Q dan pusat APEL Asia University. Pada hari ini, sesungguhnya Engkau maha mengetahui bahawa kami di sini ingin menimba ilmu yang sangat luas bagi mengembangkan ilmu pengetahuan kami sebagai hamba-Mu yang Engkau redai. Ya Dzal Jalali wal Ikram, kurniakanlah jua kepada kami kesihatan anggota kerja gasan minda, ketenangan jiwa, kekuatan semangat. Semoga dengannya kami mampu menepani cabaran, berdaya saing dan mampu mengangkat martabat diri, keluarga, masyarakat dan negara. Rabbana zalamna anfusana wa illam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Thank you, Mazri. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us now start our event by welcoming the Vice Chancellor of Asia University, Emeritus Professor Tan Sri Dato Dr. Nik Mustafa Raja Abdullah, to deliver his opening remarks. Please welcome Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and a very good afternoon to all of you. Yang bahagia Profesor Dato Dr. Mohammad Shatar bin Sabran, Chief Executive Officer of Malaysian Qualification Agency. Profesor Dato Dr. Ansari Ahmad, Founder President of Asia University. Datuk Haji Abdul Rani Dubai Jaafar, Chairman of Bank Rakyat. Datuk Dr. Rozia Omar, President and CEO of UNICAL. Professor Dr. Johari Ali, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Asia University. Mr. Khairul Nizam bin Ibrahim, Senior Director, Accreditation of Malaysian Qualification Agency. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to AE, pioneering university in Malaysia to offer all the efforts. On behalf of AEU, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Dato Shatar Sabran and his colleagues from MQA, Dato Rozia Omar of UNICAL and other distinguished guests to this auspicious occasion to mark another milestone in Malaysian education landscape. The recognition of prior experiential learning through APEL program as an entry requirement to the university has finally become a reality after long deliberation at the ministry and universities. To Datuk Shatar, your presence here today, sir, indicates serious commitment from MQA and Ministry of Higher Education to ensure APEL achieves a worldwide standard and to strive a much sought after agenda for the less fortunate student to obtain a university degree become a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a significant day for Asia University as we embark on a new journey in the education space. I'm proud to note that AEU has been implementing APEL A and APEL C successfully for 6 and 4 years respectively. As we all know, the Malaysian Qualification Agency is dedicated in recognizing the value of learning achieved at various stages of life through prior experiential learning. It recognizes lifelong learning and promotes social inclusion through APEL by offering access to academic qualifications to those who would otherwise be excluded due to a lack of formal qualification or work responsibilities. We are proud to announce that recently AEU has been approved by the MQA to implement APEL Q for one of its programs, that is Doctor Business Administration, DBA program. We are very pleased to announce that we have 6 learners who have successfully completed this program. with 20 still active and 38 candidates to be processed. We are now in the midst of waiting for the approval of another 7 programs to be run under APEL Q with 7 students sent as a pilot studies. APEL Q is the award of academic qualifications to individual learners based on the evaluation and assessment of prior experiential learning towards fully approved programs offered by the MQA. It allows us to recognize individuals' prior experiential learning that is relevant and distinctive to a program of study at AAU. To solidify our effort in implementing APEL, the establishment of AAU APEL Center is the next logical step. The center serves as a point to develop guidelines, provide training, and maintain an up-to-date repository of information and resources on APEL. With this center, AAU hopes to execute all of the APEL endeavors in a structured, effective, and successful manner. With this, I welcome all of you to look at our initiatives and our center that we take a lot of pride in. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri, for the welcoming address. We would like to welcome Yang Berbahagia Dato Sri Panglima Haji Abdul Aziz Abdul Rahim. Thank you for your presence today. Ladies and gentlemen, next is the highlight of today's event. It is my pleasure to invite our honorable guest, Yang Berbahagia Dato Dr. Mohammad Shatar bin Sabran, Chief Executive Officer of Malaysian Qualifications Agency, to deliver his speech, followed by the APEL Q and AAU APEL Center launch. Please welcome Yang Berbahagia Dato.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat petang, terima kasih kepada pengurusi majlis. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dato Dr. Ansari Ahmad, Presiden Bahasa University. Yang berbahagia Emeritus Profesor Tan Sri Dato Dr. Nik Mustafa Raja Abdullah, mantan bos saya when I was in UPM for many years. Tan Sri. Yang bahagia Profesor Dr. Johari Ali, Deputy Vice Chancellor SAI. Yang bahagia Datuk Haji Abdul Rani, Chairman of Bank Rakyat. Yang berhormat Datuk Sri Panglima Haji Abdul Aziz. Terima kasih for coming. Datuk-datuk, tuan-tuan dan perempuan yang saya hormati sekalian. So first of all, thank you very much for inviting me on behalf of Ministry of Higher Education to officiate one of the centers that have been looking forward not only by MQA but most importantly by the Minister of Higher Education. So thank you very much, and we give a big hand to SAI for taking this initiative. I always mention in my speech everywhere that I travel, regardless whether in Malaysia or outside Malaysia, if all the universities in this country, regardless whether we are public or private universities, if you are still constrained ourselves in terms of providing education using the conventional way, I'm talking about offering bachelor degree in X, Y, Z, and so on, we may not be relevant in the future. And therefore, under the Minister of Higher Education for the last few years, we have engaged with the concept of lifelong learning. And two of the things that we have been focusing on, number one is, of course, on the APEL, and the second one is also getting more popular nowadays is micro-credential. And we as MQA, our job is to open as big as possible the door for APEL. The APEL A, APEL C, or the latest one, APEL Q, and inshallah soon we're going to have APEL M, APEL micro-credential. Because we do believe, based on our survey in this country, about 65 to 70% of the Malaysian population, which happen to be about 33 million people, they are entitled for APEL A, C, and Q. And what is more interesting about this target group, they have no problem with money. Of course, we have one great candidate, Dato Fazli. Stand up, Dato Fazli, you are one of the great candidates. So he is one of the candidates for APEL Q. Is almost at the end of his study. He got no problem to pay. I said, how much he good to pay because he got no money, no problem with money. So that's the beauty of APEL. So we are targeting about 60 to 75%, and those people, they are in the level course. So the other percent, they are SPM level, STPM level. That's one they will go for the conventional way. So our encouragement to all the universities in this country takes these opportunities to engage with all the new program. Just now, yang Mohammad Dato was proposing new program like law, things related to that. Maybe we can see what are the best angles so that we can offer that particular program using APEL. I know we have the professional body for that one. Maybe we can find some ways to be able to offer that program. But again, the basic thing, we have to be creative and innovative enough, taking the opportunities. And at this particular time, we are at MQA, we try not only to engage with Malaysian university, but we also engage with other accreditation body abroad. We have been traveling to United Kingdom, Canada, things like that. We are talking about the same language. We are talking about APEL. So that's why we are enhancing, opening APEL not only to Malaysian, but also to the international students. Once we are doing that, the agenda and the objective is to help the Minister of Higher Education to get at least 250 international students coming to this country so that our agenda by 2025 we can reach that number. And of course, we cannot just believe or depending on the conventional way to get that numbers. So we have to find alternative, and the best alternative that we have now is through APEL. So surprisingly, when we were traveling abroad and we talked to those people, our counterpart the other side, they were quite surprised that we have this type of approach in terms of providing education for the society. Even the United Kingdom is going to learn from us. We are going to share our experience with the United Kingdom in this coming month. I think on the 5th of November, they are inviting us to share how did we do that. So they are learning. The same thing with Canada. They want to learn how do we do the micro-credential. You know, when we are listening to those developed countries willing to learn something from us, that's a great mileage for us. So that's why I think we take the opportunities. I know at this particular time we do have about like 400 something in our country. Surprisingly, not so many yet, given the endorsement to run APEL A, C, and Q. And greatly to say, ASAI is one of the universities that leading APEL Q at this particular time. So give a big hand to APEL Q. And at this particular time, I was being informed by YBhg Dato Ansari, APEL Q alone, now at ASAI is about 70 candidates. That's a big number. And of course, for me, and also representing IPTA in this country, I think this morning I opened one session, a seminar in Bangi. So I was telling them, because it was being attended by public, both private and public universities, two personnel from each university, and I was telling them, if you want to get more money, if you want to get more extra money, besides the one that you are receiving from the government, take the opportunities APEL and micro-credential. Because using this approach, there is no constraint coming from the government how much that you can charge those people. If you are charging like undergrad, it's being controlled by the government. But for this APEL, you are free to charge accordingly based on the agreement that you have. So again, thank you very much, ASAI, and I hope your commitment to help the Minister of Higher Education to get at least 250,000 international students by or before 2025 will be achieved, and inshallah, the agenda for Malaysia to become the global hub of education in the future become reality. So I know I have been given until 4 o'clock, but I could not talk until 4 o'clock. It's too long. Nobody want to listen to you until 4 o'clock. So, dengan lafaz yang mulia, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I officially launched the APEL Q and APEL Center for Acai University. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Dato Shatar, for sharing your wisdom and aspiration. We are very thankful that you took time off from your busy schedule to honor this event and launching the APEL Q and AEU APEL Center. Ladies and gentlemen, next in our agenda is a sharing session on APEL Q journey by our APEL Q students. To this end, we have 2 of our students who will share their APEL journey with us. We will begin with Dato Dr. Syed Hussein Syed Husman, who is a student of APEL Q for Doctor of Business Administration, DBA. Unfortunately, Dato Syed Hussein is unable to attend this event in person, but has graciously shared his experience and journey through a short video presentation with some words of wisdom to candidates who are looking at embarking on the APEL Q pathway. He takes this opportunity to thank everyone and congratulate all APEL Q graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, let us watch the video presentation.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a few words. Of course, I'm excited and I'm really happy that I've managed to complete the DBA. On myself, I think I've been blessed in a sense that I have received good education in my life. I started my early education in Malay College in Kuala Kangsar, and then I went on to join ITM back then. Then I had the opportunity to go to US to do my bachelor's and master's. And then I completed my first PhD, which was in human resource. So from an education standpoint, I think I've been blessed in that sense. I also had a great opportunity to work with multinationals, and I worked for some of the largest multinationals in this country. I started my career with ICI. Back then it was a British company. And ICI gave me the opportunity to build my skills in cross disciplines. Because ICI was in agrochemicals, they were in fast moving consumer goods, they were in special chemicals, they were in chlorine, they were in ammonium nitrate, they were in paints, they were in agriculture. So that allowed me to learn many different aspects of the business. Then I went on to join, or as headhunter to join Procter & Gamble. I was one of the pioneer teams that built Procter & Gamble in Malaysia. It never existed back then. Most of the products were sold in Malaysia through trading houses. We set up Procter & Gamble Malaysia, then we went on to set up Procter & Gamble Indonesia, Procter & Gamble Philippines, and Procter & Gamble Thailand. That allowed me or exposed me to the international culture and values of doing business. After that, I was headhunted to join a tobacco company, and I joined Rotmans International. It was a British company back then. And my role was not only Malaysia, I looked after Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand. In all my career, I was more focused in human resource, and that's really my forte and my background. And after being there for a couple of years, we merged with MTC to become British American Tobacco, which then became number 2 in the world. And that gave me a total different experience of how do you run a tobacco business. And after a couple of years, when we merged the companies together and created British American Tobacco, I was then invited to join oil and gas. And I joined a company called Ramunia, and this was a high-end engineering company that builds topside platforms. And I was there for a couple of years, and I was invited by Syed Mokhtar when he set up an oil and gas company to set another oil and gas company, but this was purely international, and the focus was in Iran. So we went over to Iran and set the company in Iran, set the company in Malaysia. And because of the American sanction, we had to also set a company in the UK so we could transfer the funds around. So if you look at it from that point of view, and also I joined Citibank for a while. So I had the opportunity to work in industrial chemicals, in banking, fast-moving consumer goods, tobacco, oil and gas. And when you put all this together, I basically had covered a majority of the industry. Yeah? And I always say that in order for you to be successful, you need 2 things. You need to work hard, and you need blessings from a lot of people. Working hard means, in my views, you have to be very focused on what exactly you want to do. You have to have an analytical mind by saying, if you want to do this, what are the competencies you need to get? And sometimes these competencies don't come in your degree program or your master's program. They're very specialized. And if you really want to be successful, you need to go and get them. So in my case, I have 3 diplomas because I needed them. I needed to have a diploma in industrial relations or the industrial law to be really good in human resource. I needed to also get a diploma in human resource management, which focuses a lot of different things on employee benefits, in compensation benefits, and in industrial relations management. So you pick that. So basically I'm saying education is continuous, and if you want to be successful, you need to be really clear in what you want to do. You need.
Ladies and gentlemen, next I would like to invite Mr. Khairul Aizad Abdul Rauf to share his experience and journey as a student of APEL Q. Please welcome Mr. Khairul Aizad.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good evening. I'm Khairul from UPSI, from Tanjung Malim, graphic designer at the VC's office, students from BDCM program, Bachelor of Digital Creative Media program under APEL Q pathway. Okay, it's been honored to standing right here in front of everyone in this room. Please allow me to share my APEL Q journey mixed in Malay and in English. Saya sebenarnya kurang biasa bagi speech in front of quite a big audience, okay, on stage. Memandangkan kerja hakiki memang di belakang tabir, graphic designer, you know. Okay, first of all, I never knew that MQA has released this new alternative, APEL Q, where we can further study based on working experience. Okay, Okay, lucky I had a direct communication with a few MQA representatives that share with me this one of the flexible learning education that are available in our country. During my study at AEU, I found it one of great opportunity for those yang sudah lama bekerja tapi berhasrat untuk further study through this APEL Q program. Starting from membuat semakan program at the university, either the program ada akreditasi or not, dengan program APEL from MQA. I feel grateful and relieved everything goes smooth even though belajar secara online because of at that time our country is still in a pandemic COVID-19. During MCO 2.0 and MCO 3.0, I remember doing my task assignment and all that. Beberapa pertemuan yang dirancang dengan Mr. Mazri, which is advisor yang dilantik oleh AEU. At that time, we have to cancel because we can't cross the border, you know, Perak, Selangor. Besides Mr. Mazri, line of lecturers, of course, Mr. Faiz, Mr. Faizal, Mr. Zaki, and Mr. Zam, who are very helpful for the guidance, knowledge, and experience in every GMIT. Thank you so much, sir. To Mr. Asfarizal, head of unit in MQA, and Prof. Dato Mazita, Deputy Vice Chancellor of UC for first and second field visit and validation. Thank you so much for your time and cooperation. Lastly, not to forget, of course, to Prof. Dato Dr. Mohammad Shatar Sabran, CEO of MQA, for showing me the opportunity. Thank you. The President of AEU, Prof. Dato Dr. Ansuri Ahmad, also Prof. Hawa Abdul Rahman, if she is here, and to everyone who involved in my APEL Q journey. You know who you are. Lastly, thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Mr. Khairul Aizat, for sharing your learning experience with us. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed to level 1 for the opening ceremony of AEU APEL Center, we will have a photography session. I would like to invite our photographer, Mr. Fazil, to conduct the session. For the first photograph,